There's a very interesting story of you shutting yourself up in a hotel room for 2 days, etc.
Just me as a person working under my own banner, I can charge 100 rupees for a project, but as soon as I have a banner, I can charge 200 rupees. In the formative years, BD wasn't the big slap. Big slap, honestly, was just client management. I'm not a creative director anymore. I am client servicing head. I am BD person. I'm a firm believer. If something is not fucked up, don't fucking fix it. I've seen big brands work with AI. There is still something fundamentally that AI cannot do, which is people.
If you had to summarize the journey of Voice Company in one line, what would it be?
Building an agency might seem very easy, but it's not for everyone.
The bottom line, a creative agency is not about being creative. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of This Living Room. Today, I have the privilege of having a guest who is a founder of a very successful advertising agency.
Who?
Could you not be quiet for another 10 seconds? I was trying to do an introduction, but now there is no surprise. The founder of that successful agency is my dear friend and this man who is slightly bonkers.
Hello!
Okay, so we are talking about you, why you started the voice company, how you got into it. I know there's a very interesting story of you shutting yourself up in a hotel room for 2 days, etc.
We won't get into that. It's boring. It's
No,
no story.
I want to know that story. I want to know the spicy version of that story. So
No, there's no spicy version.
I'm sure there is. You can create one. You're supposed to be a storyteller. I'm not interested in the truth. So let me put it like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, some version of that story and how you did that. Why did you get into this? And where are you now with the voice company? And also, for the benefit of the world, please start with
What the fuck is the voice company?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, good. The voice company is a advertising / content agency, which does less of content and more of advertising. Because content generation is a pain in the ass, as you can see. It's harrowing to do content. But yeah, I mean, we do everything that a regular advertising agency does. Cheaper.
You should have said cheaper, better, and faster, but you can only get two at a time.
Yeah. No, but definitely cheaper than like legacy agencies, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But also faster than them. But yeah, I mean, we're a small team, but we do very interesting work for the most part. We also do a lot of boring work because boring work pays. So you do boring work.
Boring for you, boring not necessarily for the brand that you're working with.
No, it's boring. It's not like
Yeah, as in it's not quirky, fun, award-winning.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's BAU work, which is a lot of the work that most agencies do. It's not glorified work. It's not
Yes.
meant to be glorified.
Yes.
And that's perfectly fine.
Yes.
It pays bills.
By the way, which is also another misconception about agencies that all work is just like up for awards and all. There's
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
actually
of being-
yeah.
Yeah.
5% is up for awards.
Okay, coming back. So you do content, advertising.
I do brand building. I do brand identity decks. I do positioning. I do go-to-market strategies. We. We do packaging. We do campaign launches. We do films. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't do performance.
Yeah, you shouldn't do performance given how good you are at math.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not go down that path. Okay, so how? Why? Tell me the name. The voice company is an interesting name. What made you choose this? And tell me when you started, why you started, what was going on in your life then that you started.
No. I'm not going into what was going on in my life then. I've spoken about that a lot in other podcasts.
No, as in professionally, as in what?
So I'll tell you a different thing. I before I became an entrepreneur, I said, and this is obviously in retrospect, right? I think I was always bent that way.
So
Throughout my advertising
example?
career, like I would do these things,
Side gigs.
not really monetary side gigs, but like take an idea and give that idea life.
I've seen you do that. You do that. I agree with you.
So,
Yeah.
but it's just that I would never have imagined that I would like one day I would start my own agency. that was beyond my imagination. Because when you're earning a salary, you're so comfortable earning a salary, right?
Yeah.
And sure, one side of you thinks that fuck. I mean, could I potentially earn more money by going independent? Sure. Like, I would look at people who built their own agencies and think, man, am I talented enough?
Yeah.
But I was asking myself the wrong question. It wasn't whether it's not if you're talented enough. It's about how can you run a business.
Yeah.
Because that's something I didn't know at that point in time.
Yeah.
When I looked at other businesses, when I looked at other advertising agency businesses, right? I didn't look at the business side. I didn't understand the business side. I didn't know that there was this entire other engine running. I only saw the creative aspect of it, building out teams and doing the shiny work and doing launches and stuff. That's what I saw. And I thought to myself, do I have that ability to do that? And I thought I was creative, but I didn't think I was creative enough to do that. I certainly didn't think.
So creative enough to do the creative work or the business side?
No, the creative work. I mean, like independent agency type work.
Got it.
I thought I was creative, but like I didn't think that I would be able to punch up at that level.
So what were name two couple of aspirational agencies at that point in time?
At that point in time, Aggie, forget the name of the agency, Aggie and Santosh Padhi, their agency.
These guys who was on the
dissolved.
Pepsi account? No.
Aggie?
There was a couple of guys who were on the Pepsi account on JWT and then they spun off and did the agency, right? Who?
I don't know.
Gurgaon based agency, man. No, Deep Root. No, don't buy the names. Anyway, so
I'm forgetting the name of this agency, but great agency. So, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I didn't think that this would ever happen.
okay.
So, anyway, so then when I seriously started thinking about, okay, I started freelancing. From 2018 onwards, I started freelancing actually. It wasn't really a business idea. It was just like making money, picking up freelance gigs.
Yeah.
And then I realized something that this wasn't that difficult. Picking up freelance in a sustained manner wasn't that difficult.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I also bear in mind that I had a great portfolio.
Yeah. And
Right.
experience. You were
Yeah,
not like
so
a
I could
20-year-old.
deliver. So my ethics were bang on. It's not like I took freelance and then I delayed or anything like that, right? I was always on time.
Got the work done.
Yeah, and I got the work done. So the work kept coming back, and then one person spoke to another person, and that's how more work started coming in. The advertising agency idea came along like almost a year later.
Okay.
Once I started building out a few clients, doing some interesting work, then I thought, what, may as well do it under a banner. Because I realized, and I still think this is true, that as who I am today, or anyone, you can charge, let's say, just me as a person working under my own banner, I can charge 100 rupees for a project, but as soon as I have a banner, I can charge 200 rupees.
And also you get to participate in certain pitches where as a freelancer you wouldn't get entered.
Correct.
Understood. Yeah.
Correct.
So fair. I think that's
So I thought, what, let me start a banner. But the next question was, okay, if I have to work under a banner, what banner? A, name. B, how is it structured? C, why is it different?
Yeah.
If at all it's different. And I'm perfectly fine with it not being different
being
also.
Yeah.
That's also perfectly fine. But, so those were questions I had to answer for myself. And that brings us to Radisson Hotel.
the hotel.
Room number 302. I wish I had that. Maybe I do somewhere. The picture of the room. Anyway, so I
Knowing
knew
you,
that
you probably do somewhere.
possibly. I think it must be. I know I've written about this, but I don't know. Must dig it out. Anyway, so I realized that, and it's not like I couldn't do this thinking at home. I just needed that.
At times you need to just kind of step away.
Yeah, just move to another environment.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to move with any technology. I wanted to just do this the old school way.
Oh, you took pen and paper? Huh?
Yeah. Sheets and sheets of paper, felt pen, pencils, all that. I checked in, switched my phone off, and just sat for one entire day just thinking. The chunk of the day was just thinking and plotting out different. So I went at it exactly like the way I would solve a problem for a brand.
Like a campaign.
No, if I was launching a brand into the market, how would I position that brand? Right? And I just applied the same thing on myself or the agency, right? And I realized that there are rungs which correspond to So there are agency rungs that correspond to client rungs. Okay. So there are the WPPs and Ogilvies, that the first rung.
Yeah.
They work with legacy brands. Okay. How much do they charge? They charge X. And I mostly know the kind of figures that they would charge for like a packaging or like a campaign or film or whatever it is. Okay. Then comes rung number 2, which is like the independent agencies which were formed by people who had stepped out of the legacy agencies.
Correct.
Right? Now, they cater to a certain kind of clients. Now, at that point in time, they were catering to the people who were very, very well funded, the brands that were very well funded.
And they were also doing a lot of SME work, right? The 300 to 2000 crore kind of business.
Yeah. Okay.
Regional brands.
Then there was rung 3, which were your local advertising agencies, right? Doing mostly local level work.
So restaurants,
Niche.
hotels, cafes.
Yeah, so very niche, like for example, a design agency, right?
Yeah.
Or like a very niche social media agency, right? And I realized there was a white space there. The white space being the caliber of the first rung of people with the price points hitting somewhere between rung 2 and rung 3. Layer 2 and layer 3. There was a white space there. There weren't many agencies in that space. So I said, okay, I want to place my agency in this space, which means that I'm going to end up working with people who have raised either angel or series A.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. Because series B onwards, they'll want to punch up and work with rung 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this number was a large enough number to go after.
Correct.
In terms of clients, it was a large enough number for me to go after. So I started with that logic, saying that, okay, who am I talking to? I'm talking to this set of people. How should I place my brand? I should place my brand here. Then comes, what should I call my brand? How should I package my own brand? I realized that in that Series A angel space, there are a lot of brands who are trying to find their feet. Okay, there's immense competition in the market, categories vast.
So essentially, product market fit is established.
Yeah.
Hence, you are able to raise capital.
Yeah.
But now you don't have a brand, as in the
You
brand
don't have a brand.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, you don't. It's increasingly difficult to build a brand out in that space because there are a lot of players in that category.
Yeah.
In one category, there are millions of players. So how do you stand out? Given that everyone has money, how does your brand stand out?
Yeah.
And then I went down a rabbit hole of thinking, okay, what is that one thing that a brand needs, right? And I one of the first, this doc is there somewhere. Okay, I started listing out names. Okay, I thought, okay, speech, this, that, whatever, and I think option number 3 or 4 was the voice company. And I'll tell you, so interesting. Fuck, I really wish I had this document. You know, when you're writing in bullets, you write something and when you press enter, the next bullet comes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was option 1, option 2, hit enter, option number 3, the voice company, hit enter, bullet. And there's nothing in that bullet. Okay. Because I thought, fuck, this is the name.
Done.
Yeah. So I checked. Then I opened up my laptop and I said, okay, does this exist anywhere? What's the story? Is that whatever? And I realized, okay, this was a good name to work with.
So this started in 2020. Around
2019.
Tell me the first 3 slaps on your face which you had not anticipated or you were not prepared for. First 3, biggest 3, most important.
I want to tell you it was business development, but honestly, in the first couple of years, and this is very strange because normally this happens in the first couple of years, that's the biggest slap that you get. But I was very fortunate enough to land myself a couple of fat retainers during the
market retainers.
Yeah, and this was HCL during the pandemic. And I got by very comfortably, very, very comfortably. So But of course, BD was a big slap later. It's like post the pandemic, BD was a fucking slap on my face because I realized that shit, like retainer can. I remember I was working on this retainer, and just like that, retainer went.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and you're used to. I mean, people who follow me on LinkedIn know that I'm very comfortable sharing numbers. It's like it's just fucking money. So this was about 5 lakhs, and you get, and plus a project here, a project there, whatever. Suddenly, that 5 lakhs gets taken away.
So I think one of the things with landing a marquee high value client early on is that your dependence becomes very high, right? That's a key client risk, right? Essentially. And if that client goes away, you don't have much else because.
But I'll tell you what I did.
Uh,
I didn't spend all of the money. I knew that this was too.
so
good
you're
to
prepared
last.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was too good to last. Yeah. So I built over the year and a half that retainer lasted. I built a massive runway for myself. A runway so good that even if I had no client for 6 months, I would be able to survive. Not a problem. Right?
Got it.
But so in the formative years, BD wasn't the big slap. The big slap, honestly, was just client management, which I had never done in my life.
Yeah. Because there was client servicing.
Correct. Now, so traditionally, I've been at legacy advertising agencies, and I'm the creative person. Do I interact with clients? Absolutely. As the creative director, you do. But it's few and far apart. You're presenting a campaign. You're not at that level. Sometimes you're on feedback calls, but that's it. It's not a day-to-day thing, right? And
creative आया नहीं, late हो गया, timeline delivery, all that.
No, and just like a lot of clients just like having a lot of conversations.
Yeah, engagement.
And my head, I'm thinking, while I'm on those conversations, I'm thinking, fuck, I would just use this time to do your work. If you could shut up, then I could spend this time doing your work.
Yeah.
But I can't say that. Right? So...
No, and that's also part of the deal, right? As in that engagement with the client is important. As in,
it is important. But, I found a lot of conversations futile. It wasn't adding anything because they were trying to reiterate what the problem was and what I was trying to solve for. But if I could take that time out for myself to think and do it, I would have more time to work on whatever I was working for.
Yeah, but see again, like I was talking to somebody somewhere, and I think we also spoke about this. Like empathy with the founder, right? As in, especially at that stage, the guy is doing it for the first time. You might have been part of multiple campaigns before, and for you, he's one of your 5 brands. For him, that's his day in and day out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So understanding and being sensitive to that is a very important part of the
which
agency.
Is what so I've had to evolve into this role. So today, if you ask me, I am not a creative director anymore. I was a creative director. I'm not a creative director anymore. I am client servicing head. Okay, I am BD person.
And other people are doing creative, and other people are.
There are other people doing creative, right? Do I see what goes out at the end of the day? Of course I do. It's a creative shop. Of course I do.
Yeah.
But the day-to-day, looking after teams, what teams are doing, I can't do everything. So I never thought about this. I would become this person.
So I'll tell you a very interesting practice we've just started doing. Okay. And so given our team size is slightly larger, our interface with brands is that much lesser, right? As in, we are not part of all brand conversations, etc., etc. So what we started doing is that, and this is going to be scheduled for everybody and at a different cadence. But this is the first time we're trying it out with a few of our brands where we are doing just founder conversations. Like us founders and them founders.
Okay.
Without the larger team involved. Okay. Just a 30-minute chat.
Yeah.
On key priorities.
Yeah.
Take feedback on how they think our team is delivering. Give them feedback on what our team is expecting and not getting out of it, right? And like I was part of one such conversation today, and interestingly, instead of 30 minutes, it lasted for an hour 15, and there were other topics, and they were talking about their future product pipeline, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But I think it's an interesting way of managing this dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody very senior up in GSK once told me about this. He was also part of JWT, Prashant, who was our CMO also, marketing director at GSK. He said that you should do client discovery conversations. Right? And that was a practice that he told me about, and which is saying that don't talk about business, right? Like, so his example was that suppose your meeting is at 10 o'clock at the client office, reach at 9:30, spend 15-20 minutes outside before the meeting just talking. Right? In that conversation, a lot of things come up which give you context to what is happening.
Yeah.
So our attempt with these conversations is just kind of getting better context with the brands.
Yeah.
So that we are in a position to kind of relay that back to our teams, right? I think that becomes important. So I think it's a good way to
No,
manage
absolutely. Maybe, I'm hoping, I'm constantly, this is very new territory for me, right? So,
Okay, so
as
you
the
said
years go by,
client
I'll
management,
evolve.
one big challenge. What else?
Chasing bills, not so much. More, I've been so thankful. Most of the clients I've been working with
Touch wood.
have always paid on time. There's no problem with that.
How about hiring?
Hiring, major challenge.
Yeah.
Major challenge.
Same.
Major. And I didn't have this problem before because it was just me.
Yeah.
It was just me for the longest time. And then there was, I think I hired for art. That's it. I just hired for art. My team, and I'm going to say blew up, but it's not really blew up. But in my sphere of things, blew up because I never imagined that I would have like 7 people. But it blew up sometime around maybe like a year and a half or so back. When again it was a big retainer, and I had to get people to service that brand, and now it's stayed. Even though that retainer is no longer there, that team now. So what happens is that when you pick up a size of that number, and suddenly you realize that, oh shit, I have to pay salaries. Then you have to keep paying those salaries. And I'm not the, I know enough people who, and there are large agencies who do this, by the way, where when a client leaves, they suddenly fire everyone. Right? I feel so shit doing that. I have never done that. I would not want to do that. And the only way not to do that is to build a pipeline, to build a runway for your team.
Absolutely.
That you're paying salaries for, right? So, but it's a challenge. It's a humongous challenge. Finding the right people is a huge challenge because it's not just about the work. It's not about the work. It's about, does this person fit in? Does this person not fit in? Not fit in is also perfectly fine for me.
Big one.
Perfectly fine for me. Because I want that kind of point of view. I want that kind of diversity. But from a value system perspective, does that person fit in? That's a bigger question to ask. But there are a lot of floozies around, right? When you're hiring and you're doing the whole interview process.
And it's very hard to gauge in an interview. I think it's a hit and miss, right?
I've taken a couple of bad calls in my life, I won't lie.
Yeah. So have I. Like not more than a couple, right? Because obviously because of the size, I've gone through more hiring.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a challenge.
Okay, so like there are many things which are changing, right? As in overall in the advertising marketing industry. I think so. Top 3 obvious ones is mainline advertising seems to be kind of reducing because absolute media spends on mainline advertising versus digital are changing, etc., right? Like today, large legacy FMCG brands are also spending 40-50% of budget on digital. All of that is happening, right? So advertising in its classical sense obviously has evolved. We all know that.
Yeah.
With AI, etc., all the changes which are happening today, there is also a tectonic shift which is happening, right? I think that's going to significantly change the game. Where do you see yourself? And I'm not saying 10 years later, like 2 years later, what does the voice company look like? What do you have in mind? As in, where are you? What direction are you giving this?
I'm lucky to have survived for 6 years.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm very lucky to have survived for 6 years. I didn't think I'd survive.
Keep doing the work that you're doing.
Just keep. See, I'm a firm believer in if something is not fucked up, don't fucking fix it. So I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. I want to scale up slowly and steadily. Bring in slightly bigger clients, bring in more people to the team, but just keep doing what I'm doing. I don't think things are going to tectonically shift in that way for agencies too much. I mean, no, I don't think so.
We should talk about this separately.
No, man. From a positioning perspective, from placing a brand into the market perspective, I don't think there's a lot of change that's coming in.
Okay.
AI is going to make a lot of things easier. So either you're on board with AI or you're not on board with AI. It's as simple as that. The obvious answer to that is fucking get on board with AI.
Better be on board,
Yeah. Because if you're not, you'll still be able to do the work. It'll just take longer.
Longer, be more expensive.
More expensive? How?
Like producing an ad film requires a certain amount of money today. But if you take away production and if it's 100% AI, the cost of that changes dramatically, not incrementally, dramatically.
AI has not reached there yet.
Oh, so you think?
I've been following at least from a film's perspective, I've been following the work that's been done globally as well.
Dude, Kling 3, Seed Dance 2, look at the kind of work that these models are doing.
I've seen big brands work with AI. There is still something fundamentally that AI cannot do, which is people, right? Which is why Coke did a a Christmas commercial using just AI. And it was almost like a animated kind of film. And it's nowhere near to what Coke does year on year.
I massively disagree. Some of the latest stuff that I'm seeing, right, with Kling 3 and with Seed Dance
I'm saying
2,
it's not at par today, but AI is increasing. Getting better
where
every
it
day.
is today already versus where it'll be in 6 months. Anyway, so where it'll get is different, right? But I'm saying essentially a lot of the cost structures of agencies will change, etc. But you're saying
my cost doesn't depend on that. I'm not a production company. I don't charge for the output of the film, right?
Yeah.
I'm anyway going to tie up with a production house. Now, a production house may choose to bring on board a DOP and a director and whatever.
Or do it via AI.
Even with AI, you still need a DOP. It's not like you don't need a DOP.
Sure.
You still need to understand what the shots are going to be. Who's going to decide what the shots are going to be?
Yeah. You'll not need the infra. You'll probably not need actors.
You won't need the setup. You won't need the camera.
It's interesting, right? As in, how do we build a production company with the same people?
You will need
without the production. You know what I'm saying? As in, you have a production house which is producing on AI.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
But they're doing it now. There's so many production houses that have gone into it.
Yeah. Cool.
So, that's not my game anyway.
So, if you had to summarize the journey of Voice Company in one line, what would it be? I'm asking this question because you're a writer. Shit happens.
Luck and hard work.
Shit happens.
Yeah, shit happens, but luck and hard work, man.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you recognize the luck, but you don't get too complacent about that. You fucking work hard.
Good, I think.
Yeah, 6 years. Here's to 6 years.
Here's to 6 years. Here's to more success to you and the Voice Company.
Yeah, but I do want to wrap up with saying that, and I'm just saying this because I speak to creative people who want to start, right? On almost like an everyday basis, where it's not for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Building an agency might seem very easy. And if you guys saw the last episode where he spoke about building out his performance marketing agency, he also said something which deeply resonated, right? It's when you if you're a creative person and you want to start, and specifically if you're a creative person and you want to start an agency, you'll realize very soon enough that it's not about being creative. That is not what's going to make your business successful. It's about how you run the business.
So the bottom line, a creative agency is not about being creative.
It's about being creative.
Not only about
survival is not based on
survival is not
based on how creative you are. Yeah. Survival is based on running the business.
On that very optimistic note, we should wrap up this episode.
Yeah.
Please.
Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, share with your friends and family. Get a discount coupon of 100%. Comment.
Yeah.
And we'll see you for the next episode, wherever that is. Thank you very much.